Hello, I'm Diva Nurafriani Shafa. I'm a first speaker from Universitas Jenderal Soedirman, and I will start my speech in the 3, 2, 1. More than 18 of college students today receive financial aid in the form of the scholarship, grant, out loan, interest loans. Scholarships are one of the most attractive type of aid because they don't have to be repaid, unlike loans, which eventually do. In the status quo, we believe that there are misplacement of scholarships overseas that actually with each their privilege. In this debate, we will show you why it is problematic and what is the likelihood of this. So our goal is we will make education inclusivity and increase public welfare, and of course deliver justice faster than the type of scholarship based on the merit. Because we believe that funding from the scholarship will give the bigger impact when we choose the target specifically. So our stand is we will make financial needs as basic goals and make selection of the scholarship to every people, especially from underprivileged, so they can access this program and ensure the condition will be better under the OG. So in this debate, I will characteristic about the category of scholarship based on the benefit itself. The first one is to get the higher education. The second, to get living allowance in the college. The third, to get educational facilities. The fourth, to get access to program, and the last is about to get international exposure. So in this debate, we will show you about the important actors or the vulnerable actors or the stakeholders in this debate. It's about the lower class society or underprivileged society. So scholarships were originally created from the those who are financially unable, but they deserve an opportunity to higher education. But what is wrong with the status quo right now? Our scholarships right now are differing from their pay. They are now used as a tool by institutions to find individuals to whose this institution believe will benefit in their size. So now to be clear, what we support to give financial boost to those need. Scholarship means a grant or payment made to support student education, and there are two kinds of the scholarship. The first one is about scholarship based on the merit, which means the scholarship are given to students who show financial need that determine eligibility based on the family income. The second one is merit scholarship. That means typically awarded on the basis of the academic, athletic, or artistic merits in addition to special interests. A merit scholarship is financial award that students receive by their academic success. So two points of clarification in my speech. The first point of characterization is about the scholarship itself. Scholarship enable an opportunity given to certain individual, usually for additional expensive on top life expensive. This does not include public school throughout high school and then financially necessity. There are individuals who are financially unable to mobilize to resources that are worth for themselves. And the second clarification is about the characteristic of the financial need itself. The first one is needs about the education. The second, needs about the living allowance or the survive. So 3 points of my argument. The first one, what is the moral principle of this situation? The second, why this principle work for the status quo and why we guarantee there is no corruption because of lack of awareness. And the third, about what is benefit behind this case. So jumping to my argument, the first one is about the moral principle of this situation. The first one is about equity in education. Equity means that every child will get what he or she needs to success, as opposed to everyone get the same thing as the landscape. So how does the equity works? In this education itself, equity in education requires putting system in place to ensure that every child has equal chance for success that requires understanding. And equity has the meaning to be fair, to the level playing field, to enable everyone to come out to the same level or to take any extra burden to certain individual and what they have. Now, what does the condition fit with that principle? Well, because some people are able to save up for additional education, where there are some who are struggling to pay for their live. So the second one is about the unbalance or gap between student and society itself. In the United States, where most scholarships are focused to higher education, merit-based scholarships tend to go to higher education income from the student itself. Whether they can eat or not today, they are already financially stable for them, and also increase the achievement gap between high and low income. Imagine the high income student have the privilege to have supplemental class from outside the school, and also they have a privilege to having tons about the exploitation because they have a lot of money. But how about the low income student? There is still need to think whether they are going to eat or not, whether they going to have a food or not. So the third about the fixing the national income. The country has a lot of people, has million of people inside, and show our affection to people that need the education from poor students. It will increase awareness along society itself. This can change the environment of the population. For example, in our country, Indonesia has less workers and can construct this wireframe into a better pyramid, into a more productive pyramid, with giving the country to better society, to giving their money, to giving what they need, not only but the financial, but only can increase the human resources inside the higher education. It's more important. So the second argument was why we believe that scholarship based on financial need work for the status quo, because we believe it has some selection process and we will filter the applicant again. We have federal aids, because to be eligible for federal grant and other financial aids, for the example, parent and student must fill out the free applicant for federal student aid above the FAFSA from the U.S. Department of Education. The FAFSA asks a series about the question, and the parents and student like the income, assets, revenue, and other relevant factors in order to determine how much need-based federal aid they may qualify for. And the last argument is about what is benefit of this kind of scholarship itself. We believe our benefit will invite the people from the lower class out of the pit, from poverty itself. Well, how does it happen? Well, we believe that lower class education has minimal resources, has minimal facilities, and in extreme cases, no additional teaching for their specific categories or job. Now, by giving better facilities and resources for the education, people have a higher chance to getting themselves a stable job and being financially stable in the future, so ultimately pushing themselves off the poverty cycle. So because that, we as the government team proudly to propose this motion.
Thanks to my first speaker, I am Egi Bachtiar as the second speaker, and I am going to deliver some contribution in this debate. They are: 1. Compare between the financial based and merit-based scholarship; 2. Explain the worst case when all scholarship only granted based on the merit; and 3. Conclude the debate. My first contribution is to compare between the two scholarships and why financial based scholarships should be granted. Here are my two arguments. First argument: the long-term effects will be better on financial based scholarship. First effect: it will achieve inclusivity of education. As we know that in the developing countries such as Indonesia, we still have problems to make better education available for everyone. The data from Ministry of Education of Indonesia shows that in the 2021, more than 75,000 of students cannot continue in their school, mostly caused by the financial factor. And the financial based scholarship can make education affordable for those poor students, because it helps poor students to enter the higher education, such as bidik misi or KIP kuliah in Indonesia. Second effect: it will increase the quality and quantity of human resources. The financial based scholarship will make a development towards human resources, because both of the highly merit students and poor students can continue their education. The highly merit students can continue because they already have the merit such as in sports, arts, or academics. Those merit or achievement will reward them with such as cash or other privilege that can support their educational life. Same story goes to the poor students that already have a scholarship, and it guarantee them to continue and finish their educational life. This will increase the quantity of people graduated from the college, and that means we will also have higher quality of human resources. Third effect: it will improve the public welfare. The public welfare can also be improved because in the last argument we already have higher amount of better of human resources that can make contribution towards development in economics of the country. In the other side, we also have poor family that are live in the condition and vicious circle of poverty, means that they will be always in the poor situations and even can go worse without any further actions or policy from the government. By granting all scholarships solely based on the financial need, especially to the children in the poor family, it will make them out from vicious circle of poverty, because the children now get a higher educational level, have access to a better job, and finally can ensure the welfare of their family. Second argument: there are students who have high merit are also born in the hard financial situation. As we know, there are so many stories of successful students graduated from top universities with the highest score of GPA are actually born from the poor family. Why there are so many this kind of students? It is because their family have difficult financial situation, so it motivates them to work and study harder to achieve the merit. Opposed to the highly merit students that are born in a good financial situation, they actually don't have such a motivation coming from their hard financial situation. There's two kind of students perhaps have the same motivation, such as make their parents proud and to get a better job in life. But those motivations are actually more powerful in poor students. Why? It is because the poor students have a moral burden to improve their family's financial condition. They also never living a life with stable financial conditions, so that they have a bigger effort to achieve those dreams. Jump to my second contribution about the worst case when we granted all scholarship based solely on the merit. The worst case that can be happen is the underprivileged students will take the student loan to continue their higher education, and finally it will make a bad impact in their career. If the merit-based scholarship inadvertently granted to them who have good financial situation, then there will be the underprivileged students that so take the student loan in order to continue their education. Even if they succeed in their academic life, it cannot guarantee their career or job, and even if they already have the job, they can't work properly or professionally and just focus on how they can get a higher and higher salary because they still have the loan or debt to be paid. This story goes the same way as politics corruptor, because they make big loans when do campaign to the public, so it makes them easier to do corruption because to get money instantly and to pay for the loan. Lastly, my third contribution to conclude the whole debate, in line with the motion, we strongly prefer all scholarships should be solely granted based on financial need as opposed to the merit, are because 1. It will achieve the equity and inclusivity in education. 2. It will increase the gap between the privileged and underprivileged student in the society. 3. It will fix the national economy. 4. It will increase the quality and quantity of human resources. 5. It will improve the public welfare of the country. And 6. It can prevent underprivileged students to take loan and avoid them from doing corruption in their career. With all of the 6 arguments, we proudly propose this motion. Thank you.